Hi guys, welcome to Winsome Cottage Garden. My name is Hannah and I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. We are still in the city and still working on my plant hoard. So today, I've got about an hour left of sunlight. So this is probably going to be like a part 1 to reducing the plant hoard, with a part 2 coming another day. Recently, as you guys might have seen, I went kind of crazy in a plant clearance sale where I picked up a ton of ground cover. Ground cover is something that I've identified that I want to add more of in my yard to kind of reduce the weeds and also garden maintenance. I do an okay job of keeping up on the weeding. It can get a little lax towards the end of the year because I kind of get tired of it all. Long term, if I add more ground cover, it'll help me save me time so I don't have to do so much pulling. It will help with the water retention. Even though it's using water, it'll help kind of keep the earth covered. I've heard it many times, and Mother Nature is modest. If you don't cover her, she will. So the idea is if you don't put down mulch or you don't put down something, if it's just bare dirt, plants are going to grow. So I've obviously done a lot of mulching. I'd love to reduce the amount of mulching I have to do each year. Would love to reduce the amount of maintenance I need to do. And I think ground cover is going to be key to building my way towards that. So during this plant sale, I went and bought a ton of different ground covers that I've been kind of thinking about where I want to stick them in my yard. Ooh, a giant bumblebee. Just like, I think it thought my camera was a flower. I'm not quite sure, but it was a little alarming. Anyway, today I'm going to be planting the first lot of ground cover and a couple heucheras that I have that I want to dot around in the backyard. And I thought I would bring you guys along. So without further ado, I'm going to the first place we're actually going to work is a place we recently spent a lot of time. It's actually in this bed right here where we planted these hostas, the 2 hellebores, and this hosta and that hosta were both transplanted from under the apple tree. I don't know if I showed this. I can't quite remember, but I had to leave for an appointment and my dad actually finished planting my apple tree. It is a gala apple tree. They are self-pollinating. It has a little bit of a blight, so I'm gonna be spraying it and making sure I pick up the leaves. I actually need to do a tiny bit of fertilizer and finish this little hole he left so we could water it. But it's a semi-dwarf gala, so it'll get about 10 to 15 high and 10 to 15 wide. I'm hoping to prune it to keep it closer to the 10 side. It likes full sun. It is hardy zone 4B to 7. That's the apple. I'm really excited to have it here. I'm gonna get you guys set up and start getting some plants in the ground. It's mostly ground cover today, but there might be a plant here and there as well. So we'll get things in the ground. I'll kind of show you what ended up going where and give some more stats on them. Okay, I'm rapidly losing light. So before it's complete dark, I thought I would quick walk you around and show you what we got planted today. And I'm really pleased. I had a number of different kind of ground covers because I wanted to add things that would make what's already there pop. And I think I've got a really good combination going that I'm excited about. The first thing we planted was a form of a juga near our Munstead Wood Rose. I had 4 of these. So a juga is also known as bugleweed. And this one is Princess Nadia. And I think it is so pretty. It's got a thinner leaf than some ajugas. It's mostly like a light green and cream with hints you can see in here of like purple that I think will play off beautifully against what's in this bed. I only was able to get 4 of them for here. So I did 1, 2, 3, and 4 with a reminder that this is not staying here. It's going to be moving soon. So I might stick something else in this bed. But for now, I just wanted to get it started to fill. And I think the lightness of it will really make the other things in this area pop, which is really, really cool. Now, this is partial sun. So I think this is a good spot because since it's so low growing, it won't get as much sun as the other things. I'm hoping it doesn't get too much sun here. We'll kind of just have to see, but I think it should be a good spot for it. It grows 6 to 8 inches tall, and it gets about 8 to 10 inches wide. Now, my experience with the juga actually says it'll just kind of keep on spreading. So I left some room for these kind of to grow together, and then as these stool out, I'll kind of pop them around so they fill in more in this space. It's hardy zones 4 through 9, so quite a range there. And so that was the first one. The second one was another kind of a juga that we got planted. Over here is called Burgundy Glow. Let's see, this is a great example, and it's got a lot more purple, but is still very light. I thought with the dark leaves of the hellebore and the white of the hosta in this bed, it would look so good. And a juga does bloom. This stuff from here to about here is not going to get much sun at all. So it might not bloom, but I do expect it to kind of fill in. I honestly debated whether or not I wanted to put this here, and it might move sooner rather than later because this hosta will probably shade this out. But I thought, you know what, stick it there, and if you move it, you move it. Because I didn't know if that was a good spot or here. But I did put 2 down there. And these are almost at a point that I could divide them. In all honesty, I just didn't really want to do it right now. So, but over time, as these spread, I'll kind of pop them around here and there. And I'd love for this whole little bed to be completely covered. So there's no weeds to be able to get through. And a juga is really well going around plants, but it will also form a mat that weeds won't be able to get through. Now, as we make our way over here, I'm going to actually quick talk about 2 plants that were not ground covers that we did get planted. They were both actually Heuchera. I found some really good deals on some, and I would love to add some to my yard, so I popped 2 in the backyard. This one right here is called a Dale's Strain Heuchera. It's not showing it right now, but let me show you the tag. And it's got a lot of purple in it that I thought would be kind of fun to add to this area. It's a different color green than the peony, and when it has that hint of purple, I thought it would be a really great juxtaposition to have these 2 on either side of the path. This guy says he likes full to part sun, so he'll probably get full sun here, and it'll get about 30 inches tall, and I'm assuming that's with the bloom stalks, and about 12 inches wide. So he'll be just a really pretty little pop right here. Now, I have to confess that the other one I planted did not have a tag. I thought it did, and I'm sure there were others near it that had tags when I was at the store. It's a proven winner's Heuchera. I'm thinking it might be like a hopscotch or something like that. I'll have to wait and see what it looks like next year and what kind of bloom stalks it puts out. It does have like burgundy undersides, so I didn't realize that. Then I picked one without a tag, but I'm guessing that these generally get about 30 inches, so it'll be a nice little pop there. when I did get into the soil, I realized it is very, very dry. So I'm not sure if the yarrow is going to make it, and I do definitely need to address the drip in this area next year. There's honestly not a lot of point because I'm going to be winterizing my system very soon. We actually had our first frost warning last night, which is sad because it's about 2 weeks early. I should also say, I'm not sure when you're going to see this. I work full time and so I film these videos and edit them around my work schedule. So what happens is I probably end up filming a lot all at once because I have a good chunk of time to work, and then editing and spreading them out over time. So you guys might not see this till middle of October. I am filming it on September 29th. And yeah, so last night we had our first frost warning. I'm not sure, sorry, mosquitoes. I'm not sure if we actually got frost here. I was looking for it and it was cool, but I didn't see a sign of it last night. We have another warning tonight and another one tomorrow, so I do think it's kind of inevitable. And what I'm going to do is actually winterize my drip system and just water with hoses as needed for the rest of the season. Making our way to the front of this bed, and I'm being eaten alive by mosquitoes, so clearly it didn't get cold enough. I added a couple different things in here that I'm excited about because I think as they fill in, they're gonna make the plants in here look so good. I really tried to add other colors to give this space a lot of depth. I'm starting with, and you can see it very clearly, Murray Mound Artemisia, and I think it's gonna make this succulent in particular look fabulous, as well as the rows behind it. I'm just really, really excited to see it fill in. It likes full sun and it'll get 6 to 12 inches high. So it'll get a little higher. That's why I kind of put it a little further back, and it should get about 12 inches wide. So they're going to be 3 distinct mounds, but definitely help fill in this area and provide that silvery blue texture that makes this purple succulent look so, so good. There's hardies in zones 5 through 8, so I'm hoping they do well here because we are zone 5 and sometimes things don't, like, depending on the weather, it doesn't do too great, but they also don't mind hot and dry conditions. So I'm hoping that putting it next to the succulent, when I do kind of run the drip again, I can skimp in that area so they get the little water they both like. Now, if I kind of follow this down, I added this here. Last time we added a sun sparkler sedum over there, right here. Let me go show you. Last time we added a sun sparkler sedum here, and I'll pop this name on the screen because I don't remember it off the top of my head. This one is a very pink-y tone, and we're adding another sun sparkler over here. I'm hoping you guys can see it because it's actually getting very, very dark, but this one is called Wildfire. It's got a lot of yellows and oranges and reds, and I think in the height of summer it'll be more red than anything else. So I thought that would be fun. It is a full sun, obviously. It gets about 4 inches tall and it'll get 18 inches wide. So I think it'll fill this spot in nicely and is hardy in zones 3 through 9. Now if we kind of look on here, you may have seen me pull that back. I need to do a little tidying, but I'll do that later because I really am like, yeah, you guys, that's the moon. That's how dark it is right now, but we do have the beautiful cotton candy clouds. So hopefully there's just enough for me to be able to show you this. This is called Sun Sparkler Sedum Dazzle Berry. Now what I really enjoyed about this one is it's got like a purpley dusty blue vibe to it, but like a dark blue. And if I show you this picture, it looks like that purpley blue, that's the flowers, but this purpley blue is what it'll look like most of the year. And it's not quite the same purple, this is more red toned, but I thought it would add a weight in this section and really set off the green of the plants and the artesima as well. It will get about 8 inches tall and 18 inches wide, so I was able to get 4 of these. I'm a little surprised I didn't get 5. I'm wondering if one ended up with my parents, in which case it'll make its way back here. But I put 1 there, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 there. So I think over time this will fill in and just be that beautiful blue, purpley look and color. And I think it'll look so good when these are in bloom as well. So I am really, really, really losing light. I know you can't see it in the camera, but it is basically dark. So I need to quickly get things in the shed, water stuff in before it's too dark for me to see what I'm doing. I should add, you may have seen me with this apple tree. I actually added some biotone starter fertilizer because my dad hadn't had time to do that when he planted it. And then started kind of filling in the trench around it. My garden rake is at the cottage, so I'm hoping to get it back soon, and then I'll do a more leveling job. I'm so excited we were able to get so many ground covers added to the yard, because that was not something I was anticipating doing. It's really because I found such a good deal on all of these at that local greenhouse clearance sale. I think everything today, with the exception of the artisma, I know I'm saying it wrong, guys. I'm so sorry. Was $2.50, and the artisma was $4.99. So that's a lot. I mean, I got a lot of plants. I think I spent under $50 on all the plants. I'd have to do some exact math to be sure, but that was a lot of plants to be able to get for $50. So I'm just thrilled to have them in the yard and have them kind of start spreading out and stooling out and providing a pop of color and a depth of color in the yard, while also making my life a little bit easier. So there's going to be at least one more video. We're actually going to do some stuff in the front yard and on the side beds with other ground covers, because I've still got plants in the plant hoard. Let me show you. Now this hellebore is actually going to the cottage, but well, both of these hellebores are going to the cottage, and that guy might be going to the cottage as well. But these guys all need to be planted in the next few days. So we'll see where they go. I almost stuck this back here, but I really wanted it to be in a spot that I see, because that I think is one of my favorites of the ground covers I bought. But I have some thrift, I have some sweet woodruff, I have some boogie woogie and other sedums, and ice plants, and I am really excited to get these going in other areas as well. But I'm up against the clock, as always, trying to get these things so they can settle their roots in before it gets too cold for them. Thank you so much for joining me today as we got that process started. If you liked this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you can see other future endeavors here and at the cottage, which we're going to be heading back to soon to work on getting some last things in the ground there as well. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.